Hey guys, welcome back to the Discount Property Investor Podcast. This is your host, David Dodge, with co-host Mike Slane. And today we are going to be talking about a deal that we're working on right now. And this is going to happen to you, I guarantee it, at some point in your life or your investing career. And we just want to kind of educate you on what to expect and how this works. So, what's the deal? Right now, I have a contract to purchase a property. Okay? Took it to the title company, and I also have a contract to sell this property. So after getting it under contract, I started marketing this property, and I found a cash buyer, and the cash buyer is willing to pay me $5,000 more than what I'm willing to pay for the property.
Congratulations.
This is what we like to call a wholesale deal. I'm not going to buy the property, actually. Instead, I'm going to use paperwork to control it, and then I'm going to sell the paperwork at closing to the cash buyer, who's going to then pay me $5,000 essentially to get out of the way. It's also like a marketing fee. You can look at it multiple ways, all right? Now, the title company called me this morning, and they said, David, we have an issue. The issue is that the seller bought the property from a tax sale, and the title isn't really exactly squeaky clean.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, so what does that mean? What does that mean, guys? It means the deal is unfortunately in limbo or in jeopardy of not closing, which means that $5,000 that Dave was ready to cash his check on, he was ready to go play golf.
I'm not giving up on this one, though. Well, that's the cool part.
But right now,
I was getting ready to go golfing, though. I mean, come on.
He can't cash that check. So that's a bummer. So where do we go from here, Dave? What is the
plan? Seller wasn't aware that there was issues. They were ready to sell, and I'm ready to buy. So the title company tells me, they fill me in, hey, this was bought at a tax sale, which is fine. A lot of investors buy at tax sales. Mike and I have bought dozens of properties at tax sales, okay? But when you buy it at a tax sale, you need, in order for you to sell the property, like the traditional route with a general warranty deed or a like kind of transfer method, you need to file what's called a quiet title suit, which basically just is an attorney that is petitioning the county saying, hey, my client wants to get clean title on this property and remove all the nonsense behind it. And this process typically takes 6 to 9 months. Could take less, could take more, but it doesn't happen immediately. And it's going to cost you typically anywhere from $2,000 to $5,000 to do this. Okay? But if you don't do this, you're going to have difficulty selling it because there's going to be kind of breaks in the title by the city taking it and auctioning it off. And then there's the other sellers that they lost it and they may still have claim to it. And it's just kind of, the waters are muddy. So as real estate investors, or professional real estate investors per se, we will never buy a property outside of a title company because we don't want to buy it, own it, and or fix it and own it, and then go to sell it and not be able to sell it. And that's what's happening right now to our seller. The seller didn't know. So I called the seller. Mike, you heard the conversation. That's why I wanted to do this podcast episode. And I informed them. I said, hey, I said, hey, got some bad news, but it doesn't mean the deal's dead. Title company doesn't like the title currently. There's no insurance policy from when you bought it. Right? So I asked them, I said, did you buy it at a tax sale? Because I didn't know. And they said, no, we didn't buy it at a tax sale, but we're pretty certain that the guy that we bought it from did buy it at a tax sale. And I said, okay, now we're getting somewhere. So next question was, did you buy it from him through a title company? Because if they did, they would have got a title policy, or they would have carved it out. One is good, one is bad. And if they would have if they wouldn't have carved it out and they had a title policy, I could get that, give it to this other title company. We're good. Everyone's clean. It shows that the title had been eradicated and cleaned, and there's no issues with it. But they didn't do that. They got it quit claim to them. So they bought it. They paid cash. They literally handed somebody else a check outside of a title company or a closing attorney's office. There was no escrow or third party, right? And in exchange for them paying cash, somebody filled out a quitclaim deed and gave it to them. And I don't even know if they was even recorded with the county or not at this point. I still need to find that out. But the lesson and the thing to keep in mind here is never buy a property outside of a title company or a closing attorney. And the reason is you want to get an insurance policy against any errors that they may have done and or any issues or people that may try to claim stake on this property. That's what title insurance is for.
That's the key.
That's the key.
Is that you want to make sure that no one else has a legal right to say that they own that property. And that's
you want to stamp it. This is
right.
David's or Mike's or Discount Property Investors property. Not I have the paperwork on it, but there's other names and yeah, you want it clean.
So long story short, if you're like, man, I didn't understand what they're talking about. What's quiet title? What's a quick claim? What's a
Let's slow down a little.
Whatever.
I like
so
that.
real quick, the easiest answer is take your contracts to a title company. You need to go to a title company or closing attorney and have them check the title or clear the title. So basically, they're going to run their reports. They're going to do inspections and figure out, hey, there was a tax bill back in 2010 that didn't get paid. Or, hey, this person, this lender back in 4 years ago said that this wasn't cleaned off. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to reach out to that lender. And we're going to make sure that they sign this release, and now they no longer have an interest in the property. So that's what the title company does when they say they're clearing title or, oh, there's some issues and we're trying to figure it out. So title company does a lot of work behind the scenes that you may not know about. And I don't want to know about it, honestly.
That's their job. Let them do it.
That's kind of one of the funny things. It's like when title's like giving me updates and I don't even want to know. Like
going over my head.
Yeah,
typically.
okay. It sounds like
I'm just like, are we set to close or not? And if not, what can I do to help you
exactly.
help me?
That's always it. I'm not
Don't forget, it's what can I do to help you help me? That's how it works for the title company, right? They want you to close because they don't get paid if it doesn't close. That's the coolest part. You're not paying them to not get you to the finish line. You only pay them when you get to the finish line. Love that.
Yeah, so again, I'm not trying to be rude with them. I don't really say like, oh, I don't care, but it's like, okay, and that's exactly, Dave took it over. It's what can I do to help make sure this closes? Or what's the issue? What can I do to help? And usually they're like, oh, I'm on it. And that's normally the relationship. It's, oh, I'm on it.
Usually, 98% of the time.
Yeah.
They tell you there's a problem, and then they solve it for you.
Yeah, and the problem, and here's why they relay it to you. One, because they're doing their job, but two, it typically slows down closing. You're often going to get something like this where there wasn't a quiet title done, and they're not going to be able to close in a week like everyone had hoped. You know, like Dave was hoping this was going to close next week. Well, it looks like it's probably not going to close next week, but again, they might be able to figure out how to get this done.
Yeah.
So that's the moral of the story.
A couple other options are they go back and they find out where it was bought. Maybe it wasn't done with a quit claim. That's what they think. And they can provide the title policy. The other option would be they start the quiet title process and we just give them a new contract that says we close in 9 months or on or before. And once they have the quiet title process completed, then we move forward with the purchase. But we will not buy a property that has title issues because we won't be able to sell it. It would be doing us a disservice to buy that property from them because we would be in the same situation that we're in now again when we would go to sell that. All right. So lesson here today, use title companies and closing attorneys.
They're your friend.
They are your friend and they will help you and you can kind of make them your coach, guys. You can have them help coach you on how to get these deals done. And that's it. Short episode today. Lots of gold nuggets. Thanks for watching. Don't forget, check out discountpropertyinvestor.com for free access to the 3 Pillars of Wholesaling ebook, as well as free courses on wholesaling and marketing methods. Thanks for watching. Signing off.